and welcome to episode 227 of Ask the iPad Man Live. And sorry I'm a little bit late in tonight's show. I'm using some new software which is helping me broadcast to both Facebook and YouTube Live, because I know there are a lot of people who would like to follow me who aren't on Facebook and would prefer to watch it through a service that they don't need to create an account for, like YouTube. So I'm broadcasting to both platforms simultaneously, but I'm learning as I go. So like all of you experimenting with your iPads and hitting some hurdles from time to time, the first hurdle I hit was I was not able to start this broadcast early. It would not let me start until 7:30. And now that I am up and running, I actually don't have visibility of the comments like I normally do to put onto the screen. So I'm going to try and look off to the right occasionally to see comments as they come through, and hopefully I'll be able to answer them. But I would say that I'm probably not going to try and broadcast to both YouTube and Facebook at the same time in future. Anyway, the show must go on. So, and hopefully it's not with a grey screen, because then we're in big trouble, aren't we? So where is my window? I can see my image here. Where is my Keynote window? There we go. So new software that I'm some new improvements to the software I'm broadcasting with, but I probably can't take advantage of them because of the fact I'm broadcasting to YouTube. So let me know anyway. I'm going to really rely on your comments and reactions during this episode. I'm going to go back and watch it to see what's working well and what's not. But as I mentioned, next week, I'd say we are doing Facebook only. So episode 227, it starts off with some very sad news. Tracy has posted this up, very sad news about the passing of a beloved iPad Man member, Dorothy Silver. She was also a member of a crochet group that I belong to. May she rest in peace. And Tracy, Dorothy, as many of you who have been watching this show for a long time may have noticed, that Dorothy did not sit on the sidelines at all. She was always leaving comments, asking questions, and I was very, very grateful for her support, as I am grateful for all of your support. And I did receive an email from Dorothy's daughters, Natalie and Karen, on Saturday, and it was just saying that because she lives in Canberra, obviously there's restrictions on at the moment. It was quite strange that they could not have many people at the funeral at all. It was restricted from COVID. And they commented, while it feels strange that it will be live streamed, perhaps for her it is fitting. She always did embrace new technologies. And so I was fortunate enough today to be able to watch the funeral from the Sunshine Coast. And it was a great service, and it was very, very well done. And it almost felt like, well, it did feel like you were there, and almost felt better. The sound quality was amazing. The images and the story of Dorothy's life was amazing. But the support from Dorothy and from everyone, I'm so, so very, very grateful for. I'll miss Dorothy's comments and feedback. And I guess we just have to do what Dorothy did and just embrace the change, embrace the new technology right until the end. It keeps us moving forward. I'm very, very grateful to have been able to help. Now it's time to get into our questions, and question number one, it's coming from Helen, and Helen asks, is there an easy way to get photos from Dropbox to iCloud? And Helen, there is a very, very simple way. And so Dropbox, if we take a look at the different platforms, Dropbox, do you need Dropbox? No, you don't. If you have iCloud, you don't need to go and add another service. But you'll have many friends or family or work colleagues who may use Dropbox, and they may be trying to share photos to you through a Dropbox link or Dropbox folder. So Dropbox is effectively a competitor to Apple's iCloud. So you have Google Drive, that's Google's cloud, and Microsoft OneDrive, that's Microsoft's cloud, and Dropbox is just another company, a very good company, mind you, that has this online storage. So if you are sent any photos to Dropbox, you can very easily move them across. So here I am today this is the iPad 9th generation. I've got my demo model set up here, and I'm going to do a full review on the iPad 9th generation and the iPad mini, both of which I've been testing, and I have a few surprises. So look out for that in the next couple of weeks when I do that review. But in the meantime, if you open up your Dropbox account and you go to the folder that has these photos in it. So here I just created a Photos Dropbox demo, and you can see here we've got some photos of me as a bubba. And what you can do is up the top here, it's not so obvious, but this little checkbox, this box with a tick in it, that's the button to select all of your photos. So you can touch on this and then select the photos that you would like to save. And obviously you can do this one at a time, or you can do it here. I've just got the 12 photos, so I'm just going to touch on these and select them all. There's 11 and there's the 12th one selected. So now that we've got these 12 photos selected, we can come down to the bottom here where it says export. No, we want to touch on the 3 dots here. And when we touch the 3 dots, no, I was right the first time. We've got to touch on export. I got it muddled last time too. Okay, you've got to touch where it says export. And then it comes up with our little pop-up menu. And here you can hit save images. And now it says, because I'm doing this for the first time, it actually says Dropbox would like to access your photos. So I'm going to say allow access to all photos. Otherwise, I won't be able to do this. I'll be continually asked this, which I don't want. So I hit allow access to all photos. And now it's going to save those 12 photos from Dropbox to my Photos app, effectively putting them into my iCloud photos. So there you go, they've now saved. And if we go to my Photos app here, and then they should be under recent, and there they are, the last 12 photos just saved and going up to the cloud. So quite easy to do. All it is a matter of going to that Dropbox first and selecting it. You could probably do it from the Files app as well if you opened up the Files app that comes standard. But once again, you'd have to have signed in with Dropbox. And so here at this point, I haven't. I'd need to turn Dropbox on for the first time. And then I could touch on Dropbox here. And once again, I could look for Photos Dropbox demo. Here are all these photos. This would be a little bit simpler from the point of view I can hit select and then select all. And then once again, touch on the share button and hit add to copy, no, more. So I should have stuck with what I had ahead, what I had the first time, because right now it's not letting me actually save it to my photos. I can add it to a shared album, but it's not letting me add it to the Photos app at all. So let's stick to what I said the first time. Obviously, here it's letting me move these photos around. That's surprising me. Maybe it's because I have not done something on this brand new setup, but normally you would have here save images and you could save it to your device. I'm gonna have to check that later on. It's a brand new demo model. Obviously, there's the potential I don't have one of the settings right. Okay, so thank you for the question, Helen. Now what I'm just going to quickly do, because as I said, I'm lacking a little bit of visibility tonight. I just want to see see what's coming up here. It's saying the video is breaking up, video stopping and starting, video interrupting. So working on YouTube, breaking up on Facebook, that's interesting to know. The only way I can find out if this technology works is to use it and try it. And if we're having this issue, then then obviously it's reinforcing I'm going to do Facebook only next week. So please let me know in the comment section, is Facebook going okay? As I said, I've got absolutely no visibility at the moment, so I don't think I'm going to do this broadcasting to both at once. Maybe I'll post the replay to YouTube next week to guarantee we have a good video delivered to Facebook. Okay. Where's that mouse? There we go. So question 2. Christine asks, what's the difference between bin and junk? Do they both automatically delete after a certain length of time? Thank you. Well, there's a significant difference between the two. The bin is where you put something manually when something is you no longer needed. So let's say this Facebook post, this Facebook email, I don't want it anymore. So I would come up here and touch the bin, and then that now moves that to the bin. And here we have that Facebook email in the bin. So the bin is for you to manually put something there. And depending on the email service you use, it could be deleted after 30 days or up to 90 days, or with some email providers, it will stay there until you then go in and delete it yourself. Junk, on the other hand, and once again, this is a demo account, so I actually have no junk in here at the moment. Isn't that bliss? Isn't that just wonderful? How long will that last? I don't think that'll last very long at all. If I was on my normal account, this would be full of hundreds of junk emails. But this is absolutely bliss looking at this demo account with no junk. The junk folder is the Apple Mail program or the Google Gmail program or whomever you are, your email is with, trying to figure out if it's a real email or not, and then move things automatically into junk. Now, once again, the idea with junk is it will automatically delete after about between 30 and 90 days, depending on the carrier, in most instances. There'll be sometimes there'll be a provider where that does not happen, but in most instances it will. So I normally, when things go to junk, I don't do anything again. I leave it there and I don't come back. So junk is the machine trying to do its best to filter, and bin is where you're manually putting it there. And just a tip with junk, as you move email to junk, you're helping educate the system as to what it looks out for in the future. So if you are receiving junk email and you move it to junk, in time it should learn that that's junk and start putting it there automatically. But you do need to start somewhere. It's not going to be an instant fix. It just doesn't magically make it work. Question 3 comes from Brian. Oh, good to see you, Brian. Brian says, is there a device that I can plug into the charger socket of my 4th generation iPad Air to accept a USB and earphone plug? I have seen such a device for the iPad Pro. To receive both, you'd actually, you can do it with individual items, like this is a little USB-C to USB-A dongle, and that can take the socket of a USB headphone or a USB device, but you can see it's only got that one socket, so you don't have a separate one for a 3.5mm jack. And the older iPads, you can do it with the lightning cable here. So here, this one's USB-C, this one's lightning cable, but they both have the same connection at the other end. So you're wanting to have one that has a socket in it as well for the headphone. These don't. Once again, just power and USB-A. So you probably need to look for a specific USB. I'm going to actually search and have a look because I misread your question there, Brian. I didn't notice the fact that you wanted to connect them simultaneously. So what we could do here is search for, I don't want keyboard settings, I want a keyboard. So we're wanting headphone USB connector for iPad Air. And I have a feeling this is just going to come up with the headphone socket itself. No, there we go. Here we go. From Kogan, $20. And that's a USB-C. So we might have to look for a USB-A type one. But definitely here, if that image loads up in time, it will show the fact that you can have you can see there that's got a USB-C, the same as you already have, and the headphone. So probably what I'd need to do then with the search is change that to USB-A. And so it's all about knowing what to search for. So I appreciate the question there. And this is not coming up with results. They're all USB-C. So I guess the workaround would be to get one of these and then plug that into that little socket there, and then the headphones into the other. So Brian, at this point, the only solution I can find is 2 dongles that you'd need to connect to make it happen. The alternative, of course, is that you could get some wireless headphones, Bluetooth headphones, which seem to be probably better value to get rid of the cord altogether. Worth taking a look at. Question 4 comes from Karen Seaton. Hi Karen, great to see you here. When I send a text to my brother, he doesn't receive it on his Samsung mobile, but he does on his iPad. Is there a way he can see my message on his mobile? Well, this comes down to the way that you're sending the message. And the way that Apple, they almost broke SMS altogether. SMSs used to be 140 characters, and we used to get charged in Australia 25 cents, it might have even been 50 cents in the early days, to send a text message. But then Apple came along with their Messages app. And their Messages app here, the green icon with the white bubble, it enabled us to send messages as data, not as an SMS. And of course, this is an iPad that does not have a phone number. So when you're sending a message, how does it work? It's not going from a phone number to a phone number. It's going from the iPad, which means the email address is what's registered to make the message work. Hence, it's the color that Apple chose to make this visible to you is blue. But if it's on a phone and it's a Samsung device, well, see, Samsung doesn't have the iMessage app. So the only way that you could send a message to him would be via SMS, where you're sending it to his mobile phone number, not his email address. And for that to happen on your phone, what you would need to do, I'll just get my phone up and running, is under the Settings app, you would come down to Messages and you would make sure that you have Send as SMS option available. So here it says, and actually I don't have an arrow to point, so I'll be able to use my finger. Send as an SMS. When iMessage is unavailable, the service provider messenger rates may apply. Well, SMSs are free now, but you'd need to choose your brother's mobile number, not his email address, and it would send it as a text message. It'll be green. It'll get to his phone, and actually then it won't get to his iPad. So it's either. The green message will go to the phone, the blue messages will go to the iPad. So if you're trying to send a video or something like that, it's not going to get to his phone. You're sending it to his mobile, it gets to his phone, sending it to his email address, gets to his iPad. I guess he should either get a Samsung tablet to go with the Samsung phone or get an iPhone to go with the iPad. There's so many people who, it's hard enough to learn one brand, let alone two. And then when you have the two different platforms trying to make them talk and do everything, it doesn't always work. And this is an example where it won't be possible. Okay, the last question for today is question number 5. And Kate has asked for a bit of help with the new iOS 15, please. And Lynn's asked, should we download iOS 15 and iPad OS 15 now? And so I've got two answers to this, because iOS 15 and iPad OS 15 have more than 400 significant changes. So the question is just way too broad, Kate. A bit of help with iOS 15, please. Well, where do we start? There is so much to go through. Secondly, Lynn's asking, should we be downloading it now? And my thoughts are, you should not. There are definitely lots of bugs in iPad OS 15, not as many as we usually get, thankfully. But certainly I've had FaceTime calls crash. I've had the iPad just turn off. I've had it go into the refresh and just spinning and doing nothing. There's functions in the Photos app that are broken. And all of these little bugs will be ironed out very soon in iPad OS 15.1 and iOS 15.1. And I recommend the same every year, just being patient, waiting a week or two for the next update to come out. So we've already received 15.1. We received it the day that 15 was released as developers. And so we expect that to be released to the general public probably in another week. So I would recommend waiting a week to do that update. Of course, here I'm running a brand new iPad, so it is running iPad OS 15 already. And there are lots and lots of differences here. If I come into iCloud, we're going to see that there's different options here. We have a private relay and hide my email functionality, which is making things anonymous when we're browsing the internet. Here we have this little tab that opens up all of our apps in an app library, so it's much simpler now to keep your iPad organized. You'll see here we have widgets on the home page that enable us to they can be moved anywhere. So I could move this one onto the next screen if I wanted to, if I hold it until I edit the home screen here, and I could move that widget over across. And so we can have widgets on any page and in lots of different sizes. There's multitask. There's so many different things that are built into this iPad OS 15 and iOS 15 for the phone. Far too many for me to mention as a quick tip of here's some help. As I mentioned, 400 plus significant changes. So hence, I've put together a workshop for what's new in iPad OS 15, and it's $199 for the workshop. It runs over 3 weeks, plus there's a few extra bonuses I'm throwing in specific to iPad OS 15 because I can't fit it all in the 3 weeks. So there's going to be a few bonus videos as well on iPad OS 15. There's so many changes, and because I don't want to race through them, showing them super quick, I want to show you them so you can use them. They do take a little bit of time to show. If you pre-order before I release the course, you get 12 months access to the iPad Man's online school, which gives you 40 existing lessons. It's 40 hours worth of lessons, plus the next year's worth of lessons, which are every fortnight. There's another 26 lessons. So that's 66 one-hour lessons plus the 3-week workshop for $199. Now, to get this special, you need to visit theipadman.com/12 months free. And this ends 30th of September. So please do not send me an email on the 1st of October saying I've missed out. I'd like to grab that deal. It will not be available. I am not extending it. There is no repeating of this deal. It is a one-time offer. Okay. The course at $199 for 3 weeks is fantastic, coming with large, easy to read printable notes that you can continue to use. You can rewatch that workshop as many times as you need to. And as I said, I'm throwing in some bonus videos because I just can't fit it all in the 3 weeks. But 12 months access to my school, well, that's $290 a year. You get that for free. That first year, the next 12 months, zero cost. And you get access to the 40 existing lessons there, plus 26 new lessons being done over the year. I cannot make this deal any better. If you ever wanted to take advantage of what I teach, now is the time. You need to act by the 30th of September because that deal will end. It's going to disappear. So don't delay. If you want to immerse yourself, like $199 for 12 months worth of access to my school, the 3-week workshop and the previous 40 lessons, I don't know what else I can do. It's the spoon feeding of the best deal I can possibly do, the best way I can educate you over the next 12 months. And obviously here with these free tips and updates, I'll turn up here and answer 5 questions each week, but that's nothing compared to the lessons that are included in the school. So make sure you do check out that link. Now, once again, I must apologize with this software. You know me, I'm always testing to see what can be done. And in this instance, it seems like this software has really tied a hand behind my back because I can't see all of the comments. And actually, I can just see here that Karen has answered, thanks, but I checked my settings. I have sent as an SMS on. Any other suggestions? Yeah, you need to select his mobile phone number as the one to send it to. Okay, you might even need to just type his mobile up the top in messages rather than his name, because when you're trying to send it as a iMessage, it is saying, oh, he has an iPad, I'll send it via the blue message instead. So maybe create an individual contact and maybe a second contact for your brother just with his mobile number and try sending the message just to the mobile, and that should get through to your phone. Okay, I can't throw the questions on the screen. I'm going to call that a night. I will go and look at any of the comments and questions that you have asked, and also next week I'm only going to stick to Facebook because I can see here there's feedback saying that it's still breaking up a little bit. Maybe the replay, we'll check out the replay and make sure it's good quality. If not, I will stick the YouTube link in the comments. If the Facebook one, the recording's jittery, I will put the YouTube link in there so you can go check it out on YouTube. Same show, 2 different channels. Okay, that's it for tonight. Thanks very much for tuning in. Make sure that you don't miss out on that deal. If you are interested, check out that deal. It won't be here. I won't be talking about it next week because we'll be in October. So thanks very much for your support. My thoughts are with Dorothy's family for tonight, and thank you all for your support over the year. Cheerio, everyone.